That was a long break.
Yes, it was a long break.
I'm not used to this new schedule of every other week, so two bi-weekly shows. I like it though.
It's getting
It's given us some opportunities to relax, and I've gotten plenty of calls from Doug, by the way,
good.
because he has thoughts.
Yes, really.
Oh, he has thoughts.
I never knew that.
Oh, he gave me a whole long list of what he wants if a specific person comes up on the list.
Who?
I'm Belushi. So I'm like, you're just hammering the same thoughts that everybody else already has said. But like, now that he's going to hear this, he'll hear me say it. But I don't care. I'm like, we'll go over it because most of those topics are what they are anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got places to go today. So
Yep.
this is going to be a quick show. So I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon. Welcome everyone to the Dragoon's Lair podcast. And I'm here for a limited time only with King Hamster Pellet himself, Mike Schiavo.
What is shaking, people?
That's right. So Mike's in a rush, so this is going to be a short episode today.
Blame it on me.
Blame it on the rain, actually. You were worried you were going to melt.
Blame it on the rain.
There are no vampires in Africa.
Okay.
You know why? Because they bless the rains down in Africa.
I'm leaving, ladies and gentlemen.
I had to, folks. So, with that being said, we're going to start another episode of What If. This time, we're only going to do one celebrity.
We could do like 2 or 3.
We could do 2 or 3. We could do 2, but the goal is 2. But you're in a time crunch.
Shut up. Spin the wheel. Let's see what happens.
All right, let's get to the wheel, folks. All right, let's spin that wheel. Yo, DJ, spin that wheel.
I still like the other one. Wheel of morality. Turn, turn, turn. That's the lesson that we should learn. It's a new car. But who we got?
Christopher Lee.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, the man
The-
was in the 90s when he died.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't even know why I put that one on the list.
I mean, okay,
but
but just think about it. Christopher Lee. He was Saruman. He was.
he was
he's
everything
the-
under the
he-
sun.
James. He was the influence.
He was Dracula.
for James Bond.
Yeah, he was Dracula. He was what else? Saruman. He
Scaramanga from
yeah.
Count Dooku.
He had a rock band.
The metal band
Yes, heavy metal band.
on the palm Charlemagne.
Yep.
Who does that?
Yeah, I mean, this guy did everything. Where would his career have gone if it continued?
Only other character left for that man to play would be God.
You know what? Yeah, that really would have been the only one.
Only thing he left, he would have had to play God, and God would have been like, "I'm taking notes."
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of another Bruce Almighty, I think we would have gotten
Christopher Almighty.
Oh God, Book 3.
Yes.
So it would have been a long time since George Burns. We would have had Christopher Lee.
I was reading an article about Christopher Lee. Well, excuse me, Sir Christopher Lee, because he was
Yes.
knighted.
Yes, he was.
And when he was talking about, actually it was Peter Jackson talking about, how to get people like in character for like
Yep.
Lord of the Rings, and he was talking to, Sir Christopher Lee, and he was like, he goes, just imagine the sound somebody would make if you walk up behind them and you stab them in the back. And Christopher Lee looked at Peter Jackson and he said, I don't have to imagine.
Yeah. I mean, this guy was Magneto.
This dude
he was everything.
He was like his nephew, I believe, was Ian Fleming, and he based
a good chunk
of James Bond off of what his uncle told him.
Yeah, and that was from like the books, not the movies.
No, the books.
The books, because the books were a whole other ball game altogether.
But,
so
yeah, and
Chris,
it was like
yeah,
another one from Lord of the Rings. It was like, when somebody falls down like that, picture goes, no, he goes, that won't. He goes, when you sneak up behind somebody,
yeah,
and kill them, this is what they would sound like. He goes, no,
that's not what they would sound
he
like.
Goes, no, and he goes, and Peter Jackson goes, at that point, I just go, Mr. Lee, you just.
Yeah, Christopher Lee really was the ultimate resource for everything.
Although one character I would have liked to see Mr. Lee play would have been Skeletor. I think he would have been a very good Skeletor.
You know what? I don't think anything could truly top Frank Langella.
Frank Langella was a great Skeletor in a shitty movie, but I would have liked even if he just he lended his voice
Oh yeah,
to
I think if he would have
cartoon.
still been around, instead of it being Mark Hamill, we would have gotten Christopher Lee probably.
Was when did Christopher Lee die?
Long before the Kevin Smith Masters of the Universe.
Really?
Yep, long before. So, while you look that up, let's make a second spin, shall we? Because frankly, that one
Yeah, that that,
that one was quick, right?
that was. I mean, only place.
Good night, people. That was the show.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah. No, so let's see what we got. I'll have to take Christopher Lee off the list the next time around. So let's see what we got on the wheel. Bob Saget. We got Bob Saget. Now, what could you see Bob Saget doing? Like,
A lot more stand up.
yeah, I don't think I could see him doing more like movies, because most of the movies that he did in the 90s were not good.
I mean, I only remember
There was one.
What was it?
It was that Disney. I think it was the Disney movie where he's like the stepdad. It was weird. Like he didn't do much, but then again, that was like
In the '90s, he was America's father.
yeah. I think we would have gotten more like TikToks and sketches of him and Stamos.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been where his career would have gone. Like more stand up, a bunch more dirty jokes.
Yeah. You ever heard of the comedian Brad Williams?
Oh, absolutely.
For those of you who don't know, Brad Williams is a midget.
A little person.
Little person, whatever. He called himself a midget, but he was saying
Well, just because he does it doesn't mean you got to do it.
anyway. He was saying how he was doing a show, and before he goes on, Bob Saget comes backstage,
Oh yeah, I've heard this story.
and he goes, he talks to Bob Saget for a few minutes, and he goes, John Stamos is here, and Stamos has a fear of small people. Like
Yep.
nothing. It's a legitimate fear. I'm not sure what it's called, but
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
there is an actual fear.
yes. And he goes, Stamos has a fear of short people, and at that point, Brad Williams like stands at attention. Goes, message received, sir. Mission understood. And he walked out of the dressing room, and he goes, Saga goes, we're in like 2 doors down. He goes, understood, sir. Open, a few minutes later, there's a knock on the door. Bob opens it. Brad Williams runs in and just like starts humping Stamos'
Yeah.
leg. And he was like, Stamos lets out like this most high pitched, girliest scream you'll ever hear a man with testicles make. And he was just like, I was humping John Stamos' leg, and I was chasing them all around the dressing room. He goes, it was hysterical.
Yes, and that's something that you can definitely listen to Brad Williams,
Brad Williams.
tell that story so much better than you.
Oh, well, he was there.
Yeah, it was his story. So yeah, but I mean, what else could Bob Saget have done? I mean,
I could see him because he took some time off from after America's Funniest Video and after Full House.
yeah,
He took some time off, just let things die down, almost let himself fade.
but he did his stand-up stuff.
Then he went back to stand up. He was on Entourage, and a lot of people were forgetting when he did stand up. He told dirty jokes.
Yeah, he was not a clean comedian.
He was not. So
he wasn't a clean comedian when he was on Full House.
No, so I could see him because like he was kind of starting like a resurgence with his stand up and everything. So I could see him possibly doing some like serious esque type role. Like maybe he dips his toe in like the world of Law and Order Special Victims, where he plays a bad guy.
Oh, you mean kind of like Ed O'Neill did, where Ed O'Neill went off and he started playing like a police officer on what was it, on one of the crime dramas? I can't remember if it was not. I don't think it was Law and Order. I think it might have been on like one of the NCISs or something.
Yeah, I can see him doing something like that.
Yeah, because Ed O'Neill is extremely talented,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean he did another he did one crappy movie back in the '90s himself, Dutch. Like I said, one crappy movie.
It wasn't. I thought it was okay. It wasn't that
And
bad.
Dutch was not a
Yeah.
good movie. But,
But
I actually blame the writing for
yeah.
that one because that really wasn't Ed O'Neill's fault on
But
that one.
you
But
know that's the problem with TV and TV actors. You get associated with just one role, and when you want to go try something different, and like, oh no, that's that's Al Bundy. We can't take him seriously.
Yep.
Say it, Peg.
yeah, well, we've done two so far.
So,
Let's go. Let's.
I like even numbers, so let's roll again.
I like odd numbers, so
Those are
it's
odds, so.
odds and evens.
I didn't even shoot.
And let's see who we got. Who we got? What do we got? Coming. Jimmy gave us the idea to do this, and his original idea was T'Challa himself, Chadwick Boseman, and now we mentioned Doug, and here's Belushi. So, all right. So,
This is for you, Doug.
yeah, Doug's entire thing was it would have changed the course of history. Ghostbusters. It would have the entirety of Ghostbusters would have been different because he was originally supposed to be in Ghostbusters.
He was supposed to have Venkman's character.
Yep. Which it would have been interesting, but I don't think it would have been the phenomenon that Ghostbusters became because it was more the tribute to Belushi was Slimer, which was basically his character from Animal House.
Right, because every time, even Ramus said every time you see
Slimer,
he's eating or drinking.
Yep.
And like him and Aykroyd, like every time you saw Belushi, what were they doing? Eating or drinking.
Yep. So,
in regards with Ghostbusters, I too would have liked to have seen even. I mean, I wish they would have had like test footage, but unfortunately,
well, alternate reality.
Reality. I would. I don't know. I mean,
I think
Ghostbusters aside, I think he would have went on to do a lot more. I think he would have done again like Chris Farley did. I think he would have lent his voice to cartoons. I mean, he wanted to try to do the serious route after Animal House.
And I think he would have done it and succeeded. I mean, let's face it, Carrie Fisher was able to go off. She did a bunch of serious movies. I mean, she was in like When Harry Met Sally. I could have seen him like popping up in like those smaller secondary roles because I don't think anyone would have really focused on Belushi as John Belushi was an amazing talent, but I don't think he would have really hit those serious roles so much.
Well, he tried to do. I'm just looking it up now. He tried to do a serious. I believe it was called Continental Divide, where he played because this happened right after Blues Brothers, where he played like a newspaper reporter who like falls in love or goes off on and
Yeah.
And everybody was like, no, we want to see Animal House, we want to see Pluto, we want to see Jake.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he was a victim of his own. He was a victim of his own success, where he got pigeonholed into playing one type of character. But if he would have, I see him doing cartoons.
You know what? I could actually see him where his career would have kept going if he would have kept going. I think he would have been a great like character to be in with Robin Williams in Popeye playing Bluto.
Well, Popeye came out in
he was
died,
nope.
He?
Yeah, nope. You got to look this up now.
I'm gonna look it up.
Of course you are, because why believe the guy who has a film degree?
I have a film degree too, but doesn't mean
you do not have a film degree.
I do have a film degree.
You never even graduated college.
They did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Popeye came out in '80.
Came out in '80, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Popeye came out in '80, and
fucking
Belushi Dude in '82.
Okay. It seemed like it came out later, though. That's the funny thing.
It seemed like it came out earlier. Like I was thinking like '70s.
Nah, with the way Popeye was filmed, it looked like it was like mid '80s.
Well, when Popeye came out in the '80s, it came out in '80, same year as the Blues Brothers. So you figure scheduling conflicts.
Yeah. But like I mean, I don't see him going as far as like Chris Farley, but I could see him being like his brother and seeing the two of them together popping up doing like that's where we would have gotten the new Blues Brothers, where we would have saw Jake Elwood and Jim would have popped up, and maybe like him, and even throwing in Aykroyd, like having Aykroyd, Belushi, and Goodman, having both Belushi brothers, Aykroyd and Goodman.
That would have been something. I mean, I saw Aykroyd and
that would have been an expanded
James Belushi.
Yeah.
When they went on tour and they went down to St. George, I saw that and they put on a good show.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you figure now there's the show Growing Belushi. He would have been in there with his brother doing. They would have been selling weed left and right.
Oh please.
That would have been hand over fist. These guys would have been making a small fortune. It would have been like it really would have been like Cheech and Chong selling weed now.
Honestly, maybe I don't know.
What?
No, because I was gonna say because even though Jim has a longer career, he didn't touch the heights of his brother, who had even though he had a very shorter career.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would have worked.
Well, that's also because Jim stuck more with television. He wasn't doing more movies.
I mean, he had his run. He was in Trading Places.
Yeah, but
he was the gorilla.
Yeah, but smaller roles, not any.
Right.
He wasn't the standout.
No, he wasn't. And everybody was like, he was like, "What do you want me to be, John?" Because I was watching a Belushi documentary, and he was talking to his brother, and he was like, "What do you want to be, John?" He goes, "No, there's only one John Belushi." He goes, "No, not it."
Yeah, it's you can't replicate that.
No, it's like catching lightning in a bottle. You can't do it.
So, should we spin again?
Spin that wheel, baby.
All right, let's see. Because I swear to God.
Okay, don't even look. Don't even look. Don't even look. Let me look. Don't shut your eyes. Shut your eyes. Close your eyes. Robin Williams.
There we go.
Wow.
The wheel just knows today.
It does. It's like it has a mind of its own.
It does. It's all I'm doing is putting the names on the wheel.
Are you taking them out now?
Yes, I've got to take them off after. Once the show is over, I'll be yanking them off. If it comes back up again, we've got a problem.
Yeah. Then the wheel really does have a mind of its own.
Oh yeah, but no. So Robin Williams. I mean,
what couldn't that man have done? He's like another Christopher Lee.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wish his show would have continued on. What was it? It was him and Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was one of the last shows that he had done. Yes,
I vaguely something with a light bulb.
I think they were lawyers.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, it was. It's hard because I think it only hit like one season. Oh no, advertising. I think they were advertising executives.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I mean he had probably I'd say like one or two more stand-up things would have come out of him, not just his like performances, but just like I think he would have sold out a couple of arenas and everything.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
I mean, he proved he could do like serious roles and comedy. I mean, what was it? Photo Booth.
Photo Booth was great.
Oh, that was like so dark and it turned.
Insomnia with him and I believe it was Pacino.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, he was absolutely like he hit the gamut for everything.
He did Waiting for Godot.
Waiting for God?
Godot.
Yeah. You know what? I think now they could have redone that, and by the end, Gal Gadot shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Shows up in the Wonder Woman outfit. One more time. One more cameo.
The Crazy Ones. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Was one season with him and Sarah Michelle Gellar. It was called The Crazy Ones.
Yep.
Let's see who else was in it. We had Mr. Williams, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Brad Garrett was in it.
Yep.
Kelly Clarkson was in it.
Yeah, because they were advertising executives, so like you had a lot of celebrity cameos. It was one of those things where there's a lot of those shows that they didn't get a chance to keep going, and I think they would have continued on, and it would have kept getting better.
Well, with a talent like Robin Williams, I don't think television. I mean, television gave him a start with Mork and Mindy and Happy Days.
Well, Happy Days,
Happy
which
Days
led to
to
Mork
Mork
and
and
Mindy.
Mindy. Like later on in his career, he was just so explosive. I don't think TV could have contained all of his explosiveness.
Yeah, I think it would have. He would have followed he was pretty much on a similar trajectory like Tom Hanks, because Tom Hanks television moved on.
Mm-hmm.
You figure everybody remembers him from Family Ties as I hit Alex, the drunken Uncle Ned,
I just remember him from Bosom
and
Buddies,
yep, that was another one. But
where
yeah,
he played him and Peter Scolari dressed in
man,
drag.
and then you kept going, and
Uh-huh.
it's like moved more and more films. And I mean, Tom Hanks has done like tons of
Everything.
movies, so Robin Williams' career would have continued on in that same trajectory.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's like I think he would have done something similar, like done another serious role,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like Tom Hanks did. What was it, A Man Called Otto?
Yep.
I think he would have done something similar to that.
See, but that's a good thing about Robin Williams. Yes, you know him as the
Yeah,
crazy guy, but
but
then he could flip the switch
oh yeah,
and go total straight face,
yeah,
and you're still like, holy shit.
yeah,
He is like one of the rare instances where he's not a victim of his own success.
yeah,
Where okay, he played the crazy guys, crazy as in crazy, fun loving, more nanu nanu, and then he went right into like the Fisher King,
yeah,
where he played the crazy homeless guy,
yep,
and then he went into Insomnia
yep.
and Photo Booth, a 1 hour photo.
I can't remember what the title was, but it was
yeah, that one.
yeah. I think 1 hour photo.
1 hour photo.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, and it worked. Like he like you don't have like studios didn't have to wonder. Okay, we're gonna cast Robin Williams in a serious role. I don't know about that. It's like do it.
Yeah, it was like the controversy back then before the internet, where everyone blew up when they heard that Mr. Mom is going to be playing Batman.
Yep.
I mean, I know Robin Williams had like an on and off again relationship with Disney, so I couldn't see him really doing anything like popping up in the MCU.
Well, strangely enough, he was casted as the Riddler in I believe it was Tim Burton's Batman 3.
Uh, it, mm, no, actually, it wasn't Tim Burton. They manipulated him though, because they used him at for the casting.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, I forget which studio it was, but they I think it was actually Disney that did it.
Really?
They were casting him for something, and I think it was Batman. They wanted him for the Riddler,
Right. Yeah.
but it was because they used him first to try to get Jack Nicholson.
As the Riddler?
No, for the Joker. He was originally slated to play the Joker, and then they got Jack Nicholson because Nicholson was holding out when they said they cast Robin Williams. He's like, I'll take it. And that's when it went that way.
Okay.
So it was, yeah, that's why he didn't come back he wasn't the Riddler.
Well, I think he would have played a good Riddler.
Oh, he would have played a great Riddler, but at the same time, you know what? When a studio screws someone over, you can't blame them
No,
for not
not
wanting
at
to
all.
work with them. I mean, Disney kind of screwed with them a little bit when it came down to the genie, but they they made up for it. That's why he came back and did it in the third Aladdin movie. Aladdin and
Yeah.
and the fourth, what was it? King of Thieves.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because that was the third movie, which was the direct to video.
But
Remember, kids, video. It was these things that came on tapes.
in boxes.
They were these big square rectangular boxes that you would rewind them to have to watch them again.
Please be kind. Rewind.
It would be nice if that made a comeback, but
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I miss those days, because we got a lot of great stuff that happened back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? So we're a little short on time because I know you're
Spin
pressed.
one more time.
One more?
I like even numbers. One more time. Let's give it.
This is an odd number because this is 5.
Okay, so spin one more time. I like odd numbers too.
Yep. Odd numbers. Like I said, I love odd numbers because we're a couple of oddballs.
And surveys said.
John Hurt.
Okay, just continue with the MCU. I can see him playing Thunderbolt Ross, being the Red Hulk. I could see him in the Expendables.
You know,
he's not so much into the comedy, but he's versatile. I could see him doing a
Yeah.
lot.
Wasn't John Hurt though in Doctor Who? I believe he was the
No, you're
War
thinking of
Doctor.
William Hurt.
No, no, I believe John Hurt, if I'm
Are we
not
thinking of the
mistaken.
same guy?
I don't think we're thinking the same guy. Hang on, now
William
I gotta look it up.
John Hurt. He was in Hellboy, right?
Yeah, if
So
I'm
there's a
not
John Hurt and
mistaken,
there's a William Hurt. John Hurt.
John Hurt was in Doctor Who. He popped up towards the 50th anniversary. He was the War Doctor.
So he played Doctor Broom in Hellboy.
Yeah, if I'm not, yes,
Let me
he
see the
was.
picture of the guy.
Let's see, trying to.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I
Yeah.
had it backwards.
You had it backwards.
I had it backwards.
No, John Hurt.
John Hurt.
Yeah, you're thinking a completely
No,
different
I was
guy.
thinking William Hurt.
Yeah, you were thinking William Hurt.
William
I'm
Hurt.
talking
John Hurt.
John Hurt.
Oh, yeah.
John Hurt, though, I mean, like him coming in at playing the War Doctor, I could see him coming back doing like if he was still there, he would have came back to Doctor Who, maybe done a few of the more audio dramas of his time as the War Doctor, maybe made a couple cameos because they keep rechanging things. Now with David Tennant back again as the Doctor.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
He's the transitional Doctor between Ncuti Gatwin. I think this is something we might be able to discuss without breaking the strike thing because it's British, so it's BBC.
British.
Yeah, but yeah, that's where we're kind of hitting that gray area.
Yeah.
But no, I think he would have done a lot more like with Doctor Who. Probably popped up, did a few more like some other British series. I think he would have popped up in a few like probably period pieces.
Oh, definitely.
He would like I think they would have probably even dragged him in because he would have probably popped up for this new Harry Potter series that they're trying to get off the ground because British actors.
Although, do you know he played Jesus Christ?
He played Jesus Christ.
Played Jesus Christ. Ask me what film?
What film?
History of the World Part 1.
Of course.
When they did The Last Supper, he played Jesus.
Of course. That you would know.
I would know that.
You would know
why
that.
wouldn't I know that?
That you would know, but
I would know.
knowing that it was John Hurt, not William Hurt.
Whatever. Whatever.
This is not what we have discussed.
I know nothing.
So, should we take one more spin so we get you a nice even number?
Oh, spin that wheel.
All right, so we're gonna do one more spin, so this way we get a nice number 6. I like 6.
Like
We
six.
are top 6s,
Yeah, top
so
six.
here's 6.
There we go.
We're gonna run through this wheel, so we're gonna end up with a shorter season.
I know, we're going to end up with more people. Patrick Swayze.
Yep, Swayze.
That's just Swayze. And it was funny because I was just watching Roadhouse the other night.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
That one episode of Family Guy. Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
Yep.
Roadhouse.
Patrick Swayze, I think I could see him doing like so much because what was it? He was a musician,
He was a dancer. Martial artist.
Yeah, this guy was like all over the place. His roles were like extreme.
Yeah. I mean,
Like he went from one to the next, and like Roadhouse, Dirty Dancing. Like his career was like, and that's just touching 2 epic movies.
when he was trying, in my opinion, after he did Roadhouse, I think he was trying to get away from like that image that he had.
Yeah,
I mean, he did a movie with Meatloaf
Meatloaf a Day.
Meatloaf a Day called Black Dog.
Yep.
And it wasn't good. So of course I watched it. But so it was at that point everybody like, oh, Swayze's done, his career is shit, and yada yada yada. But he was casted. A&E casted him when they did a series called The Beast.
Yep, I'm looking at IMDb right now.
Where he was a FBI agent. Like he wasn't like your typical FBI agent. He was like a tracker. Like, when the FBI needs somebody hunted down, they sent this guy. And this was after he was diagnosed with the cancer. And he would go get treatment and then go show up
Yeah,
and shoot. And
still
while battling, and this dude turned in a command performance, and everybody said if he would have beat the cancer, that would have been the role to turn his career around.
Oh yeah. Well, he did the Beast. You figure he had also done Disney, where he was in the Fox and the Hound 2,
Mm-hmm.
voicing Cash. Like he would have probably continued on with more vocal work, doing more movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I could see him popping up on TV shows.
I, in all honesty, I think, in all honesty, if he hadn't passed away, I think the holiday special that we got for Guardians of the Galaxy, it wouldn't have been Kevin Bacon.
It
It
would
would
have
have
been
been,
Patrick Swayze.
yeah,
Yes, I see that too.
yeah. That's where I think he would have went. And
I also could see him popping up in the MCU.
oh, absolutely, but it's like I don't know where
I
he
don't know
would,
where he would have popped up,
but
but
yeah.
I could have seen him.
Well,
Popping
that's
up
why
in
I
the
said
MCU.
like he would have like the way that Kevin Bacon played himself.
He would
It's
have
like
played himself.
yeah, and I have to say, just on a morbid yet ironic twist, notice how our last spin for this episode, Patrick Swayze, cancer, and then our previous episode, Chadwick Boseman.
Cancer.
Yep. I've got to say, this is the point where it's, we all have to take a second and just understand that cancer affects everybody. And, when we take more notice when you hear about a celebrity, but this is affecting so many people. And,
Hell, it affected me because
yeah,
my father, 9/11 the first responder, ended up with kidney cancer,
yeah,
and it got exacerbated after 9/11.
yeah,
And of course, all the people who were like, "Oh no, the type of cancer he had didn't count." They took his kidney out before it became cancerous, so he's not. He doesn't deserve any money, even though he was down there 30 hours at a click on a pile.
yeah.
And it's sad because when you see somebody like that, he was a strong dude and he was used to just doing stuff to provide for the family, and just to see him not even able to get out of a chair and just basically wither away. And it yes, hey, cancer fucking sucks, people.
Oh yeah, and not to mention, I mean, then we lost our buddy
Rob,
Rob.
he was another one.
Yeah, it's this is something that it is serious that like their research is going into this. Hopefully that there is an actual end to this sometime soon, because in all honesty, I'm tired of losing people
Yeah.
and seeing like families being hurt by this one disease.
Well,
So
not to get political or anything, but
you're going to.
no, one of the things I read an article where George W. Bush signed a bill where it pretty much handcuffed people in the doctors and researchers in the United States from doing like cloning experiments, because they were saying, okay, you need a kidney.
Yeah.
Let's take a piece of yours and grow it.
Yeah, stem cell, like the stem
Yeah,
cell
the stem
research
cell-
and everything.
He signed a bill where it handcuffed a lot of researchers.
And which president was this again?
George W.
George W. Bush.
George W.
Yeah, W2. Meanwhile, we had Reagan 1, and Reagan decided that it was like he was going to get rid of mental health issues. It's like, so we try not to get political here, but at the same time,
You gotta touch on something.
yeah, and not only that, it's sometimes politics and religion are the worst enemies, and
Mhm.
people think that they go hand in hand,
No, they don't.
and they don't, because when your religion's beliefs start to interfere with politics, it actually affects more people than you realize.
Mhm.
Just because you believe something doesn't mean that everyone else has to believe the same thing.
Yep.
So, as far as I'm concerned, it's, we need to take the religion out of politics and do what's actually best for the actual people.
Yep.
So, we're going to wrap this show up because, this is a shorter episode this week, but, we will be back next time.
Can I do a shameless plug before we leave?
He's got a shameless plug, people.
Actually, not really a plug. It's more like a pat on my own back.
Oh, you don't dislocate your shoulder now.
No, I'm double jointed. I can do it.
You're stealing my lines now. All right.
But
Let's go.
once again, the fourth wall has been nominated as a semifinalist in the New Jersey International Film Festival.
Oh,
I
look at
just
that.
got word today, and for those of you who don't know, that movie stars Michael Quinn, Christy Boland, and Jay Cruz. Written by Mr. Gregory Poems.
There you go. Give you your congratulatory. Yeah. Take it back down a peg. You know, you're getting a little too high up on the horse there.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, once you start going and you're giving the hands like, yeah, woo, like
They were applauding.
Yeah.
Recognition for the people who were applauding. Thank you.
yes,
Don't clap, just throw money.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You need a slap back to reality. Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. We love having you guys here in the Dragoon's Lair podcast. And because I have not done this at all this episode,
That is true. He hasn't.
I need to do this. If you would like to make sure that you give your opinions, because I'm sure Doug forgot to send the email, and we'll get one by the next episode. What's the email again? That would be dragoonslairpodcast@gmail.com. Dragoon's Lair Podcast. Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's. That's Dragoon's Lair Podcast, all one word, at gmail.com. So make sure you send in your emails. Let us know what you think. If you have any thoughts about what roles that these actors that we discussed this episode, or even somebody that you think that passed away too young and we haven't gotten to yet, send us emails. Let us know and give us your opinions on where their careers would have gone if they weren't taken too soon. So, that being said, I am the Blue Dragoon himself, Daniel the Dragon. You can find me on my socials, Blue Dragoon 13, TikTok, Instagram, on Twitch, on Discord, which the link to the Discord page is on the Twitter page. And you can find me on YouTube, which you can find the video episodes, which should now be pretty much up to date because the backlog is done.
Nice.
So you can find us and watch the video episodes on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube, because I'm not posting the video episodes for this season on Spotify video anymore. So that's all going to be on the YouTube channel for Blue Dragoon 13. That's Blue Dragoon 13. Remember, Dragoon is spelled with 2 O's, and it's the number 13. Mike, where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me, Michael Schiavo, that's me, on Facebook. And you can follow me at Hamster Pellet Productions on Facebook. Also on Instagram, Hamster Pellet Productions. And I do run the Dragoon's Lair podcast Instagram page.
That's right. And he also runs the Facebook page as well.
I do. I run the Facebook page. I run the Facebook. Fuck Zuckerberg. It's me.
So with that being said, people, thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully next time we'll give you a more in-depth episode, and keep your fingers crossed that the strike will end soon, because greedy corporate executives should not be dictating what we can and cannot talk about, let alone they should not be dictating the fact that we are not going to have entertainment to watch.
Bunch of cheese dicks.
So please stop the strike, end this, and this is really for the studios.
Pay these people what they deserve.
Don't be a dick.
That should be a new for this season. That should be our catchphrase.
Don't be a dick. Yep, I think that is our catchphrase for this season. You know what?
No,
Season
but
2
it has to be the
studios.
Don't be a dick.
Yep. Well,
Ow.
technically I think it can go for anybody. It's just,
yeah, but in this content we're talking about.
in this season, it's don't be a dick.
Yes. Ooh, I should write that down.
Yep. He's gonna write that down.
Write that because I'll forget that phrase.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna forget that. I can remember don't be a dick. I say it every time I get behind the wheel of a car. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I think I've said dick too many times, so we're gonna have to put the parental rating on this one. Folks, don't let your kids listen to this episode.
Don't be a phallus.
Yeah. Take it easy, everybody. Mike,
Yes.
want to take us out?
In the immortal words of one Daniel the Dragon Gator, you do not have to go home, but you cannot have remained here. Now, please vacate.
That was a little too classy even for me. It's, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Now get out.
Please leave it.
Properly. Properly.
Later, people.
Bye.